information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Move up in a new career. Metro Transit is hiring bus drivers with paid training, great benefits, and starting pay at $29 plus per hour. No CDL? Metro Transit will help you get one. This is your chance to build a stable career while making a real impact in your community, connecting people where they need to go every day. Move up with Metro Transit. Learn more by visiting metrotransit.org. Again, that's metrotransit.org.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Visit during free Thursday nights. Every week from 5 to 9 p.m., there's something new to explore. Enjoy date-friendly events like artist talks, performances, and exhibition openings, or explore art-making open library hours and exhibition tours. Settle into your weekend among community. Free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 63, then Friday, sunshine with a high of 83. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has the best roast beef sandwiches in the Twin Cities, but don't miss out on the chicken, fish, brisket, Philly steak, and more. Maverick's is located in Roseville on Lexington Avenue, 1 mile south of Highway 36. Visit mavericksbeef.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous. Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, today we have our friend Ruth Anna Buffalo coming on. She is, as you know, CEO of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center here in the Twin Cities. And then before that, we have Robert Lilligren, our CEO of Native American Community Development here in Minnesota in the Twin Cities. And I just wanted to bring on our new family member here, not new to me, but new maybe to our people out here on Native Roots Radio. But we have Misko, and Misko is now the producer of Native Roots Radio, and really happy to bring her in. And I've known you for a long time, so grateful that you have the capacity to help out Native Roots Radio with all the things that that come with a national radio show. So I really appreciate you, Misko. Thanks a lot for coming on. I know you didn't expect to come on today, but and also joining the AM 950 Civic Media and Native Roots Radio family.
For sure. I'm super excited to be a part of the Native Roots Radio family. You've been my teacher for over 10 years. So I think when the radio show started is also when I began learning from you, as well as working with you as I got older. And just, I don't know, I feel like you helped me become the young lady that I am. And I'm just grateful that I had a lot of experience in the community and then also working with you all this time.
You know what I'm grateful for too, not only those things and knowing you and seeing how great of a young person you've become, but you always have been, but also when we talk about our sacred animals, you have one about to jump on your head. So that's awesome to have our sacred animals living at your house too.
Yep, I love my kitty. Her name is Mila, short for Kamimila, which means butterfly in Dakota. And I love her. She's a big ball of energy. I always say our animals are our spirit protectors. So whenever I'm going through like scary times, she's always there to comfort me. And I know that, she picks up on energy. And so she definitely like protects me.
Let's talk a little bit about what you've been doing past. And I know we were lucky, and we'll talk more about that as time progresses, but you were the manager at Native Roots Radio or Native Roots Market trading post at Dayton's Market. And now we're coming up on another year of that. We're at the State Fair, but you've had a lot of great experience, college, nail school, and you've been doing a lot of things, and also your last work with Minneapolis Indian Center, which really accentuates what you're going to be doing here on Native Roots Radio, but just the skills that you have. So you're very well rounded. I don't know if you want to talk about any of your past endeavors.
Yeah, I think ever since especially being like growing up on the east side and going to like Ames and Harding, I've always had like an amazing Native American educational like route growing up, and especially with our Native advisory class, as well as like all the language and arts classes that I was able to take at Harding, along with the Native youth groups that I put myself in just so that I can further strengthen my identity as like a Native person. And like being a part of like all of that kind of shaped me and like guided me towards working in the community and like working for youth. And my past job that I just had was working directly with youth. And I don't know, I was always told that the youth are the next culture bearers, the next generation to learn and teach the language. And so I just felt that responsibility bestowed upon me from my mentors, you and a lot of other people in the community, like put that into me and how important our identities are. And yeah, my first job was working at Enda Young. I worked with you part-time. I worked with the Indian Center part-time. I was in and out of college, and I've had, quite a journey in college. My first year, COVID happened, and then, a lot of personal, like losing family members while being in college is really hard. And so I'm just navigating life as a young adult, and it's really cool to see all the different journeys that our young Native people are going on. Not all of us are on the same journey, but somehow for me, I just feel very grateful to be able to contribute to my community through my education, through my work. And then now I get to work with you on the radio.
And we'll be doing other projects together. But what's really exciting, Misko, and I know you've been a guest over the years too on Native Roots Radio, but when us old people, us baby elders talk about the future, I always think about you and how proud I am of a lot of the Gen Z people. And you come to mind with knowing your language, and for you, Dakota, Lakota, and Ojibwe, and then knowing your history too, and knowing who you are. And that's something my generation and the generation before really lost. So that's when we talk about the positive things that's happening with our youth, you come to mind. And I know you work with other people too that are Gen Z, I should say, that are really reclaiming who they are. And I just want to say a big pinigigi, and people listening, this is one of the persons I always think about when I talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it comes in many different shapes and like forms of like just being a young person in our community. You know, some people are doing like direct advocacy work, being on boots on the ground, as they say, and doing things like that. But another way of like resistance is being an artist, like creating, you know, regalia, dancing, doing poetry. I know a lot of singer-songwriters. I think just being like who we are is a form of resistance. And I don't know, I'm just grateful to be here. You know, we wouldn't be here without the culture bearers before us. And so it's a great like feeling to be able to be a part of that.
Yeah, definitely. And you're a great example of that. And that that our generation's doing something right to support people like you, and especially you. It's just an amazing thing. And I can't wait. You know, someday, I'll be old and we have to hand our things down in a good way to our young ones. And we always have to talk about that in a good way. And yeah, it's great to see you and a lot of other people too that are really stepping up. And again, I think about your generation. I think about your generation in a good way. And I know that isn't always the norm. I was talking at the University of Minnesota just a couple days ago, and they gave me kind of a round table after I spoke, and they were really happy that how I spoke about Gen Z saving us during the Biden election, but also not taking any crap like we did as young people from generations, that you're standing up, and that's a good thing. Hey, we are here with Misko right now, and the new producer of Native Roots Radio, and we're waiting for Robert Lilgren to jump on. He's stuck on a bus somewhere, so Misko and I might still talk a little bit more here afterwards. But hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us. Ho!
Time is running out to experience Unchi Said So at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. This powerful exhibition by Daniel Seawalker shares Native stories rooted in collective identity, generational knowledge, and teachings passed down through community. Through bold portraits and vibrant color, the work honors the significance of grandmothers in Native culture and reminds us that sovereignty begins at home. Closing June 6th, don't miss your chance to experience this powerful exhibition. Plan your visit today at allmyrelationsarts.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Warmer weather, sunny skies, summer is here. At the Walker, this means mini golf is open on the rooftop. Artist-led activations return to the hillside, and the cinema has a series of curated films. It's the perfect time to visit. Gallery admissions are free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org/summer.
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot. Hey, Misko, we're back with Misko and we're talking about things. I just got a message from Robert, and he's backstage, but I think he might have the wrong link. I don't know. I don't see him. So, as I'm talking a little bit, maybe you can send that. So that's really good. So we're giving you an example of what kind of work Misko does and will be doing here on Native Roots Radio, because for me, I cannot like tap my head and rub my stomach at the same time. So it's really good to have Misko on and in the background here, and right now too in the foreground, where we're talking about her taking over the production and producing of Native Roots Radio here on Civic Media and AM 950 and across Turtle Island. So we're really, really excited about this. There's a couple things going on, and I'll get. Did you send it, Misko? Very cool. I'm gonna just message him and say, check your email. We do this stuff again. We do this stuff on live radio, and it's pretty exciting. And I remember. Well, let me just tell you a real quick story, or jump in on the story. Misko, you did announcements, live TV announcements at the high school that you went to and that I taught at. And one of the things I noticed, which was funny, is that we were always live through the whole school. So roughly 2,000 people would check your email, or would not check your email, but would be on. And whenever we did a pre-record, the talent would make mistakes. But when we did a live version, there's always mistakes. It's how you recover from it. Miles Davis always said, it isn't the first note that's a mistake, it's the second note. And so I've always thought about that, and I always thought it was kind of interesting too that your friends that did it also would make mistakes when we did tape, and didn't make mistakes when we were live, which was really interesting. Hey, there's our friend Robert Lilligren, CEO of Native American Community Development Institute, and I was just introducing Robert, our new producer, Misko. And I was also saying, when we talk about, you and I and a lot of other people on Native Roots Radio talk about the young ones coming up and how proud we are, I always think of Misko. And welcome to Native Roots Radio.
Yeah, bonjour, Robert. Bonjour, Misko. Nice to meet you. I feel like we may have met somewhere before, maybe not. But yeah, welcome, and thanks for your help getting in here. Took me a minute. My apologies.
No, we appreciate it. It can be stressful when you're on the bus, but you probably met Misko. She ran the media at Minneapolis Indian Center, and she's a former student of mine.
Ah, very good. Maybe that's where you might look familiar. Yeah. And then I don't know if you guys get down to this end of Franklin very much, but Franklin is completely torn up between Chicago and Lindale. I live right on Franklin. So my 10-minute bus ride turns into a 25-minute ordeal with the detours. I have to walk 4 blocks. Usually I get on up right in front of my building. So there, now I'll stop griping.
No, I appreciate you coming on, and it can be stressful, and I appreciate you being relaxed and coming on. And again, I appreciate Misko coming on and talking about her new role with Native Roots Radio. So we're excited.
So I'm even a little more scattered and less prepared than usual.
Well, I think we should just lead off to what we both know, and let's talk a little bit about Native American Community Development Institute for people that don't know what that is or what that means. And I think we can free for all that one right now.
Cool. Great. Yeah. So today was the launch of our Four Sisters Farmers Market. So it's the first market that runs now through the end of October. People can check out the Facebook page, Four Sisters Farmers Market, or the NACDI page, NACDI.org, for more info. I will say this, it was the largest and most robust crowd for an opening I have ever seen in maybe the 12 years of the market, 10, 12 years. It's just growing. It's such a great place to be. There's food vendors, a lot of native and organic food vendors. There's prepared food vendors, crafts, beading, and things that are for sale. And so every Thursday now from 11 to 11:30 to 3, is that the right hours? Right hours. Stop on down. It's just a happening place. And yeah, just exciting to see everyone again. And then connected to that or related to that is our Four Sisters Urban Farm. And that's just a few blocks out down by the Midtown Greenway here, which is a major bike pedestrian amenity in South Minneapolis. And tomorrow at Four Sisters, they're going to be planting seeds and protecting waters is the event. And so it's Sacred Water, Shared Future Events, Learn, Reflect, and Act in honoring Dakota stewardship of this land. And Hope Flanagan from Dream of Wild Health will be leading that. And then on Saturday, this Saturday, June 6th at 10 a.m., from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., we're planting the medicine garden down at Four Sisters Farm. So people can join in there. That should be very meaningful. I plan to be there for a bit. There's so much going on. I'll be moving around, but I'll be there for a bit to plant medicines. Awesome. Yeah, just a lot going on. And then I'm guessing you might have plugged this already. I wasn't listening on my way in, but at our All My Relations Arts Gallery on Saturday at 1 p.m., there's an artist talk and painting workshop. And so the show is Unsi said so, grandmother said so, and it's just an amazing show. And so the artist will be here. Danielle Seawalker is her name, and she'll be participating in Artist Talk and leading a workshop.
That's awesome. And Misko and I were in an important meeting, and also I got knocked off of Facebook because I was trying to do some things on there. So we spent 4 hours trying to figure that out, or we would have been down at the market. And
did you get put in jail?
Yeah, I think so, because we tried to change the password and it was like, we don't believe it's you. And of course, there's no human being to talk to there. So we're here we are. But Misko, weren't you as a young person part of Dream of Wild Health?
Yeah, I think from like when I was 14 to 18, I worked there, and then I was an intern. That was my first technical job. So that was super fun and very, again, just build my identity and who I am today.
I love it. Yeah, very cool. They do such great programming, especially around youth. And as a staff, NACD was out there a couple of weeks ago preparing for our Four Sisters Urban Farm seedling giveaway and sort of packing and labeling seedlings. And then we hosted the youth that were out there for a lunch. We had sandwiches and stuff. And then they were sitting doing cultural stuff, right? They sat in a circle. They were talking about history and traditions and language. It's just beautiful. It's such a great vibe out at that farm.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of great vibe, you don't know how sad I am that we didn't make the market today, but we would definitely will, and I definitely will be there, and we'll be doing a lot of fun stuff like interviewing people and things like that for Native Roots Radio. So it'll be epic. And today was a great day to have the opening, and it's so great to hear that you had such a great amount of people showing up.
It is. And if folks, I mean, it's not just for Native people, right? It's for everyone. And it's a great market. And, a lot of folks reach out to me or reach out to NACD, and they're wondering how to engage, Native communities. And, the first thing I always tell them is come to us, come to our stuff, engage with us. Don't expect us to engage with you, large non-Native institution or unit of government. And if you come to our stuff and keep coming and people get accustomed to seeing you, that's where you start building that relationship. You build that trust. So if folks are kind of interested in what's going on in the local Native community, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a great entry point.
Absolutely. Geez, the next segment, I'm wondering too if we could talk a little bit about what's happening politically here. You know that I was a delegate here down last weekend, and I just want to get your take on what's going on. And I know your sister Peggy, Lieutenant Governor was an amazing speaker. The crowd was going crazy. It was just a beautiful thing, and we got to do a all native delegate and lieutenant governor picture, which was really fun. And
what were there? Maybe 40 plus native delegates in that at that convention?
Yes.
Good work.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things that's exciting too is I've done it once now, and now I never have to do it again. No, I'm just kidding.
Was that your first state convention?
Yes. Yes. It was like, oh my gosh. It was hard because, you know, I was drinking a lot of coffee and I was hungry. So I was hungry and angry at the same time when things were going on. And I didn't get there till late, and they still hadn't done anything. So it was like, I didn't miss anything. This is great.
Right. Conventions are a certain vibe, right? I've been to dozens, scores of them.
I know. And then we could talk a little bit about Walk on TP. That was very fun.
Oh, that was beautiful. You did a great job as MC. You did a great job.
Thank you. There was some comments though that the senator, the Hmong senator, state senator, spoke Dakota better than I did. So
I was impressed. He was pretty good.
Yeah, I guess talking to State Senator Mary Kunis, she said that she's been working with him for years. So that was great. He did really great. Hey, we'll talk a little bit more with that. We're with Robert Lilligren and our producer, Misko, and we'll be right back. This is Native Roots
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Time is running out to experience Unchi Said So at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. This powerful exhibition by Daniel Seawalker shares Native stories rooted in collective identity, generational knowledge, and teachings passed down through community. Through bold portraits and vibrant color, the work honors the significance of grandmothers in Native culture and reminds us that sovereignty begins at home. Closing June 6th, don't miss your chance to experience this powerful exhibition. Plan your visit today at allmyrelationsarts.org.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Move up in a new career. Metro Transit is hiring bus drivers with paid training, great benefits, and starting pay at $29 plus per hour. No CDL? Metro Transit will help you get one. This is your chance to build a stable career while making a real impact in your community, connecting people where they need to go every day. Move up with Metro Transit. Learn more by visiting metrotransit.org. Again, that's metrotransit.org.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Visit during free Thursday nights. Every week from 5 to 9 p.m., there's something new to explore. Enjoy date-friendly events like artist talks, performances, and exhibition openings, or explore art-making open library hours and exhibition tours. Settle into your weekend among community. Free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 63, then Friday, sunshine with a high of 83. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has the best roast beef sandwiches in the Twin Cities, but don't miss out on the chicken, fish, brisket, Philly steak, and more. Maverick's is located in Roseville on Lexington Avenue, 1 mile south of Highway 36. Visit mavericksbeef.com.
You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and we are Native Roots Radio. Hey, we're with our friend Robert Lilligren, CEO and president of Native American Community Development Institute here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. And talking about a little bit about the convention, the DFL convention, what a contrast there was, Robert, with the GOP up in Duluth opening up a prayer for Eric Chauvin, the person who murdered George Floyd. Just amazing.
Right. Well, I think the big contrast is that at a DFL convention, and for folks from out of state, DFL is our Democratic Party here. It stands for Democratic Farmer Labor. And both major parties, GOP and DFL, had their conventions this week. And the DFL one honored Minnesota State House Speaker Emerita, who was murdered last summer. And it started with really honoring Melissa Hortman and her contribution to the state, which was massive. And she was killed in a political assassination, essentially, she and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the GOP, the Republican convention, they opened with a moment of silence for the convicted former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, who is the man who was convicted of murdering George Floyd. And I don't even get it. I mean, for me, that's beyond a head scratcher. So why you would want your whole party to honor that person, I don't know. It shows that there is a difference, right? There is a difference between us.
Yeah, big difference. And it was amazing, a lot of amazing things happening. And again, maybe I can back up. That same day that I went there, I happened to be the MC of Walk on Teepee, and what an amazing building and what an amazing turnout for this opening. I'm just like, it was great.
It was great. And so for folks who aren't, our Walk on Teepee, and can you pronounce the third word? My Dakota isn't that good. Walking copy. But anyway, it was the grand opening of the center, their building. It is in an incredibly sacred site, just on the shores of St. Paul, on the shores of the Mississippi River. And it's just been a real incredible journey to watch. And of course, something like this only happens with the participation of a lot of people. But I really want to lift up our sister, Maggie Lawrence, who had the vision and was relentless in pursuing it and bringing the partnerships together and getting it realized. So last Friday, wasn't it? No, yeah, last Friday. Yeah. Was the ribbon cutting, the grand opening of the center. And there must have been, I think there were some 600 plus reservations or RSVPs, but I think it was more than that. I think there's close to 1,000 people, all kinds of dignitaries from both inside and outside of Indian country. Were there, Dakota elders were there to start this in a good way, the drum, the dancers, elected officials at every level, the city of St. Paul, Ramsey County, which is the county St. Paul is in, a lot of legislators who brought a lot of financial support to this project. It was the new mayor of St. Paul, Mayor Herr. It was
Yeah.
very, very cool. I even got a little shout out from Maggie Lawrence.
Yes. Well, and we've been talking about this over the years, you and I, and how much great work's being done over there, and we've seen the fruition of that work. It's an amazing building, and I feel like they're going to grow out of that building quick.
Well, by that, I mean it's a large and ample building, but I think it's just going to become this tremendous community hub. Again, not just for Native people, but it is Dakota land and a Dakota sacred site. So there's that, but even just how smart they are about partnerships. I think was that yesterday or sometime this week, the minor league baseball team in St. Paul Saints, they went out and planted and were contributing, volunteering for the restoration there. So it's that kind of a community hub.
Yeah, that was amazing. I wish I would have got a call on that. I would have been down there hanging out with my fellow athletes.
They're trying to avoid you, Robert. They probably didn't tell you.
Right. They only want me down there once a year.
Right, but the incredible cultural programming that's going on there, it's really something, and it's much needed. And yeah, I can't wait to be down there again. It's kind of a little hard to get down to it, but once you're there, it's gorgeous.
Well, it's amazing for me that I put it on my GPS, and you know how sometimes it lags of what things are named, because I don't know, it was about a year ago or less than a year ago, they officially were named Walk On Teepee down there, because prior to that it was Bruce Vento Nature Center, and it was right on the map, and it took me right there, and I was like, oh my God, I tried to outsmart my GPS, and it still took me the right way.
It popped right up on mine too. So yeah, it's good to see. And just the evolution, it was a nature reserve, right, named after the late Congressman Bruce Vento, and then this idea for this cultural center gained some traction, and then there was the shift to put it under Native direction and Native governance, most part, Native staff, and then it evolved into Walk On Teepee, and just watching that procession was really, really something, that progression. And yeah.
And it makes us happy, because a lot of times, Robert, you and I talk about what's going on nationally, and it's always kind of really, it's kind of we get a bitter taste. So it's always, always, always great to see our community stepping up and doing these things regardless of what's happening around us in a bad way.
Right. And moving forward on stuff like this and working collaboratively within the Native community, and then with non-Native institutions and government jurisdictions, is training the system to be more responsible to the Native community, right, and to Native people's perspectives and voices. And through this whole Walk On Teepee process, just I've seen that progression. And some folks know I'm still part of government here. I'm part of the regional government, Metropolitan Council, that amongst other things operates our wastewater system here. And there was this pivotal moment on this project when the Metropolitan Council Environmental Services leadership thought, oh, this building can't go here. It would interrupt with the future maintenance of some of major sewer infrastructure. And of course, leave it to our industrializing colonizers to put sewer infrastructure right by such a sacred site, right? But working with Met Council leadership and working with Maggie Lorenz and Walk On Teepee leadership, we shifted that, and we said it's not Walk On Teepee's fault that we put all of this sewage there, and government did this harm, and at some point government's going to have to repair it, or do the best they can to repair. And so at this kind of pivotal moment in the project, they were just about getting ready to break ground, and the city of St. Paul government was all on board, and suddenly the regional government was putting up obstacles. And working with then Met Council Chair Charlie Zaley, we just told senior leadership, this is going forward. We'll all have to figure out, we caused this harm, we'll have to figure out how to fix it, but we're not going to stop this project. And so that's why I think I got the shout out on Friday, and that was my tiny contribution to the effort.
Well, that's an amazing story, and I think you brought it up before, but putting two and two together, that's amazing. And with that realistic attitude towards them about you guys made this problem. Wow, kudos to you, Robert, and all the people that really pushed this forward. My goodness.
But there just seems to be, even just in the span of this project, there's just a different vibe to the relationship, especially between government, public sector, and I've had a long public sector career, and then the Native community. And we were just talking about this at Met Council, the committee I chair, the Community Development Committee, because we're doing the renaming study, right? And how can we restore Dakota names to some of the locations around here, and just learning a lot about how things get named and who they're named for and what that means. But the amazing part, and Maggie Lorenz was there presenting, she's part of this work, and you've helped move this work around through your involvement in the Regional American Indian Advisory Council, and then the brilliant Allison Wakow, our Met Council staff, were part of this conversation. And we just had this spontaneous discussion about how much less resistance there is to these kinds of ideas. Not even less resistance, how much support there is.
Yeah.
Throughout the Met Council, throughout the communities. Folks may remember a few years ago when the name of one of Minneapolis' premier lakes was changed to Benamakaska, its Dakota name, and it was a battle, right?
Yeah.
Step of the way. And so things are just different. After my long public policy career, I just like to reflect that things are different now than they were 25 years ago.
Yeah, and not only that, because of all the work prior to us and with us, we always love to, and that's what I was talking to Misko earlier on, is when we talk about the youth coming up and not having the phobias and the paralyzing moments that we did, and
the shame,
asking what they need. It's really looking good, even though things are falling apart in a sense in a federal way. The Native Americans and Indigenous people of Turtle Island are really claiming who they are and what they want, and that's really cool to see.
Right, and the broader community has seen that. I've long said Indigenous ways are the solution to what we've done to this planet and this land and this water and each other, and not necessarily Turtle Island Indigenous. Rory Wakeham, an activist artist, always used to say to me, everyone's Indigenous to somewhere, right? It's just the length of the time since your colonization, right? That differentiates. And so I think the broader world is starting to realize Indigenous ways are healing, culture is healing, and I think we're going to see more of this kind of stuff lifted up.
Well, Robert, thank you so much for coming on, and I really feel bad that we missed the market today. I'm not going to get over that for a while, but I appreciate you, even though you had struggles with the long bus ride to get home, to come on and talk a little bit with us. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Diego Avenante.
All right. Hey, up next we have Ruth Anna Buffalo. We'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us. Thanks, Robert.
Move up in a new career. Metro Transit is hiring bus drivers with paid training, great benefits, and starting pay at $29 plus per hour. No CDL? Metro Transit will help you get one. This is your chance to build a stable career while making a real impact in your community, connecting people where they need to go every day. Move up with Metro Transit. Learn more by visiting metrotransit.org. Again, that's metrotransit.org.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time, time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hi, it's Dr. Evan Adams, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, Victor, you better be listening.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Native Roots Radio, and we're waiting for our friend Ruth Anna Buffalo to come on. And I just want to say it was just amazing to hear what Robert's perspective always is here on Native Roots Radio, and we really, really appreciate him. I wonder if Misko can jump on again if she's available. Hopefully, there you are. Hey, how's it going again? Robert's an amazing person. I don't know if you know about him, but he was the first openly gay and also Native American voted in Minneapolis City Council. And it's always great to hear his perspective. And he's I feel like one of the trailblazers that we have here in the Minneapolis, Minnesota community. It's just amazing to hear him talk, and he has a good perspective. We always talk about things like the way they were. He was a senior in high school when the Indian Religious Indian Act was overruled, and so it's interesting that you see people that are really history makers. And I remember Clyde Belcourt was at our store, and we were all there. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think it's super cool because all these amazing leaders in our community are in our community. And, I used to work just down the block from him. And it's amazing that all these, leaders are in our community, and you can strike up a conversation with them and learn from them. And yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if you can send Ruth the right code again, because I think she got the wrong one. She said she's backstage too. So
Okay.
we'll do that. And I'll talk a little bit about a subject while you're doing that, Misko. And one of the things I haven't really talked a lot about, but one of the things that I'm working with too is this amazing magazine that's been in the Twin Cities, but it's a national website is thecirclenews.org. And it's a magazine that gives news in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. And there's subscribers all over the world. There's many thousands of hits on the website. And I feel blessed about being part of that. And we're going to be having the magazines, or the news paper is going to be turning into a quarterly magazine, kind of like the New Yorker kind of style. kind of a keepsake, kind of with art on the covers, and we're going to have guest writers, which we haven't, and that's going to come out in June, and it'll also be part of the 10th anniversary of Standing Rock and 150th anniversary of Greasy Grass, and also a celebration too of, we haven't really talked about this today, but the Two Spirit, our Two Spirit relatives, and I really like. I've been following Auntie Jace for many years on TikTok, and he's a great person in the area. And he talks about how the Two Spirit term is a term that's specifically Native American, and so we like to keep it that way. Hey, we are with our friend Ruth Ann in Buffalo, Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center. Thanks, Ruth, for coming on, and appreciate it, and as always, and just love to hear updates, what's going on with the great organization, and how our listeners can support you and in your work.
Sure, thank you. Yes, miwrc.org/donate. We also welcome volunteers. But yeah, we have a lot of activities going on, support groups, summer activities, and top 2 floors are tenant units as well. So we just finished today with 2 days of a MIWRC job fair. So we did on-site interviews, walk-in interviews with the community for current MIWRC job openings. So yesterday we had, I believe, 6 interviews, and today we did 17. Anyhow, the total is 22. 22 interviews together. So yeah, busy day.
Amazing. And then your work can be so exhausting, but whenever I want to just say this too, I appreciate you so much, because you, like the last you just got a text from me, I don't know, what was it, 3:30 or 4, and wanted to see if you come on. You never ever do not come on, and that isn't like a lot of other my guests, and I will want to say I appreciate you coming in and talking about the great work and what's happening in Minneapolis and what's happening at Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center. So I just wanted to say that, a big Peeny Gigi, thank you so much for always coming on and speaking your truth and what's going on with you and the community.
No problem. Yeah, mods get odds. Always happy to help chip in wherever.
That was fun. So years ago, we did a thing, and it was during COVID, in the beginning of COVID, and we did the Sunday night symposium, and you were a huge part of that. And I don't know if you know how huge you were, but we'd get 25, 30,000 people watching us around Indian country, and the people that you had connections with that came on were just amazing. People that you played basketball with, that you that are in professors in college, politicians. I remember Cedric Cromwell came on, and that was when his tribe, the first time around, Trump tried to disband his tribe out east, and I just have such great memories of the darkest times. And I think that's kind of where we're at right now, where organizations like yours is really still doing the great work despite of all this craziness that's going on around us.
Thank you. Yeah, those were good moments, and for sure feels similar in a lot of ways. Yeah, even just with the interactions with the community today through the walk-in interviews, you know, the sense of urgency is here, and we had a wide range of individuals with varied levels of experience, but we had a lot of youth too, a lot of 18-year-olds come in and interview for the first time for a job. You know, if hired, this would be their first job, but a lot of heartfelt stories, and grandmas accompanying their grandchildren in for interviews. And yeah, you can feel it though. You can feel definitely the sense of urgency, and things don't seem to be improving for sure locally. But I'm not not trying to get political or anything like that, but definitely see things. You know, we don't live where MIWRC is located, but on the drive right by Little Earth, and see, you know, young teens walking to AIOIC, but under the bridge is now being occupied on the median area, and it's a lot for young people to have to walk through. And so yeah, it's traumatic all the way around. So hopefully there's some solutions in sight sometime soon.
Yeah, I agree, and I appreciate you bringing that up. It's a thing that we've been dealing with for a while, and as you know, we get the city blames the county blames the state, the state blames the city.
Noted.
Yeah, so we got to keep talking about that. Again, Ruth Anna, thank you so much for coming on. Really, really always appreciate your insight and the great work that's happening at Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center. Big Pinigigi.
Lots of good odds. Thanks.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and if you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance from Chief Plenty Coops, the ground on which we stand on. It's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, and join a group, run for office. We're still here. Remember to vote. We are still here. We are the 7th generation. We'll see you tomorrow.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands